We talked earlier about Ryan Fitzpatrick, who comes in at number 28 on the Chris Simms Top 40 Quarterback Countdown. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you haven't heard, went to Harvard, and we have fun with that from time to time. It's the modern-day Jerome Bettis from Detroit. And so today's draft is essentially all of those dumb narratives that people forget, that insert line type thing that we hear all the time, the things we keep having to deal with that just come up over and over and over again. That's the best way I can explain it. Just tired narratives that we get sick of dealing with, but also that make us smile a little bit. And the trivia question is this, Chris, very simple. Since Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you haven't heard, went to Harvard, true or false, no player from Harvard has been drafted before the 4th round. True or false?
Ooh, that's a really good one. Trying to think there. I feel like there was one player I'm missing, maybe. I'm going to say false.
It is true. No player has been drafted before the 4th round. 2 players taken in round 4, most recently Kyle Juszczyk, now of the 49ers. And some of the guys who have who went to Harvard and made it to the NFL, Matt Burke, Cameron Brate, Desmond Bryant. Remember Pat McNally, who was the punter for the Bengals back in the 70s? A surprising number of guys. It's easy to find it online. There's a gocrimson.com page that has all of them. A lot of guys have made it from Harvard to the NFL, including Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, first one for me. Man, there's a lot of different ones I can do. I'm going to go with X is a winner. Insert name is a winner. And it's typically a quarterback is a winner, right? He's a winner. No, his team wins. Now, I'm always hesitant to completely downplay the impact of quarterbacks on wins and losses, because I do think that a quarterback can inspire the teammates to come together and perform at a higher level, and that there are things about the quarterback that will enhance the possibility of winning the game.
Sure,
but
right.
Saying a guy is a winner, it's a tired narrative. We get fined for it if we say it on the show. I'm hoping that I don't get fined for using it as the first pick in the draft.
No, it would have been my number 1 pick. That's what it would have been. It is. It's a lazy take. He's a winner. You know, when people start that, you know me. You've heard me say it a lot through the draft process. We've crapped all over it with like the John Elway, Patrick Mahomes in college. They weren't winners. Oh, somehow they happened. I understand what people mean by saying it, but it just doesn't reflect the proper thing there. And I cannot stand when people say it, you know, in the draft process or something like that. That's where you constantly hear it. And sometimes you hear it from non-quarterbacks too, which I also go, what? Like, okay, so whatever. It's a team sport. It's the ultimate team sport. But for some reason, when we start talking about the team winning and losing, we like to break it down to one player. And then when that conversation's over, we go, it's the ultimate team sport. So that makes no sense. All right. I don't know have you ever heard this? Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Did you know that? He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's still angry about it. He's waking up every day. That's one, like, you know, again, yes, we all know. Everybody on earth knows Tom Brady was a 6th rounder.
But the thing about
now.
it is, he still does
still
20
amazing.
years later. Isn't that amazing?
I know. It is. It's still amazing. But I still feel like when we watch a telecast, that announcers talk about it like, hey, you might not have heard this yet, but Tom Brady was a 6th rounder and he still plays with that, you know. So I get sick of hearing that a little bit. I do, you know, and also my take on that is, you know, Brady was allowed to work out and train for the combine to maybe help himself in the draft to be higher than a 6th round draft pick. Now, obviously people misevaluated and screwed it up, but I don't know. It's just one of those where I just feel like nobody can talk about Tom Brady without bringing that subject up.
Well, and it is amazing that it is still at the forefront of his brain all these years later, and he uses it for motivation every single day, even though it happened 20 years ago. Next one for me, running backs don't get paid enough. You hear that from time to time. Oh, that running backs don't get paid enough money. Oh, they don't get They get paid exactly what the market bears because the supply outweighs the demand. Every major college program generates every year a guy who can play running back effectively at the NFL level. If you block for him, if you teach him how to hold on to the football, and if you trust him to pick up blitzers in pass protection, he can make it at the NFL level. There are so many guys out there. Goes to what we were talking about earlier. Odell Beckham Jr. at his current contract, Christian McCaffrey at his. You can find a replacement for McCaffrey, cheaper, younger, not better, but the gap not so big to justify not embracing the possibility of going with a younger guy and just churning out a younger guy every 3 or 4 years and then move on to the next young guy at running back, because there are so many of them. So running backs get paid exactly what they deserve. The ones who are great are in position to leverage more, and they should. But for the most part, the market reflects the reality that there are a lot of guys out there who play running back and play it well. And I remember Ben Tate, the former NFL running back, said at one point, if I had to do it all over again, I'd have been a defensive back.
Yeah, no, well, I'm glad you just said that, because that's what I was just about to say. I think we're already seeing a little change. Of course, a lot of these guys are running backs because they were the fastest, most explosive guys on their team growing up. So the coaches in Little League football and Pee Wee football hey, let's just toss it to that guy and let him run. Who cares if we block anybody? And then they end up staying at running back forever. But I do think we're starting to see guys who maybe were running backs going, you know what? The hell with running back in high school. I want to play receiver and go to college as a receiver. And we're seeing more of those receivers and running back type bodies in the NFL, I think, because of that, because of all the things you said. They're growing on trees. It's a physically demanding position. So I'm with you. That was a good one. All right, here's another one. We're going to go out there and give 110% today. 110%, not 100. This is our top line, but we're going to find more to just go 10% more. And it's going to be more than our best effort. It's going to be 110%. We have our best effort, but then we got this extra 10% that makes it bestest effort, okay? The 110% effort. That one kills me too. And more times than not, I hear players and coaches say it, which is, hilarious.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous because by definition, whatever your absolute best is 100%.
Right.
Next one for me. And this is a college football pet peeve. This is a college football tired narrative, and it drives me crazy every year when I see a college game. Inevitably, every game you watch, you will hear this phrase in relation to multiple players on the field. You'll see him on Sundays next year. Oh, you'll see him on Sunday next year. Next year, you'll see him on Sunday. You'll see him on Sunday. Baloney. You'll never see him again. This is it. I feel bad. But these guys who are college football analysts think that they can project which guys who are standing out in today's game are going to be definitely in the NFL next year. No. Now, I think it makes watching the game, let's watch this game. We got some future NFL players here. No, you don't. For the most part, you don't. At least it's not the guys that they're pointing out. Oh, you'll see him on Sundays next year. That just drives me crazy. It's one of the reasons why I like college football when I have time to watch it. I'm usually traveling on Saturdays, but it drives me crazy. I want to throw my shoe into the TV every time I hear that.
Well, you're right. I didn't think of that one. I didn't have that on my list, but you watch a big college football game, you're right. You're going to hear it probably double-digit times when it's all said and done about you'll see him on Sunday. So good one there. Okay, I think the one I got to go with here is, I love this when the announcer comes on and he's talking into his mic and he's going, Team X is 47-1 when their running back runs for 100 yards, right? That's the one that drives me crazy too, because I want to go, well, no crap. Team X is 47-1 when the running back runs for 100 yards because, yes, Team X is whooping the crap out of Team Z, and that's why he's running for 100 yards. So thank you. Yes, if it were that easy, or the rushing attempts one too. When Team X gives the ball to this running back 20-plus times in a game, they never lose. Yes, well, in those games, it's the same premises. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. They can keep giving the ball to the running back who gets 6 yards at a clip, and that's why they can give it to him plus 20 times because it's very successful. So that's one that I just want to go, what color is blue, too? It's just Captain Obvious statement there that drives me crazy at times.
Or as the case may be, what color is purple? It was the Mike Tice-Randy ratio. That's what you immediately reminded me of. The idea that if Randy Moss gets the ball 40% of the time, the Vikings win. Well, yeah, in the games the Vikings are playing better than the other team, Randy Moss ends up with the ball 40% of the time. But if you force it to him, you ain't going to win. You just have to go play the game, and it's naturally going to happen. So, yes, you will have a guy who rushes for 100 yards when you are kicking the crap out of the other team. But you just don't give him the ball over and over and over again and say, oh, we're guaranteed to win the game if we just give the ball to this guy repeatedly.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.